Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I keep on shooting stuff out, like kind of throwing like out
Yeah.
times, if we ever figure out one time, that'd be good. I think I might have gave my schedule.
Oh, okay.
You know,
That's it.
down at the library.
But I think it'd be really good. Like at least one time before we actually officially meet.
Well, how about when this is done?
Yeah.
How about we
I'm like, all right, okay.
put something in our calendar before we leave?
It's between
I know
8
Michelle wants,
and.
Counselor King wants to ask us a question too.
Yes, I got shut down.
So when we're all done, we can just like hang out for a minute.
Okay.
And then.
Oh, he's always,
Okay, cool.
It sits between.
Then we're on the move. It's on. We do that
yes.
every time we ready. You know what I mean? Because I think it's great that like.
It is, but they have half shows.
Yeah,
We had one.
you're fired up.
Weeks ago.
What a good day today. I like
And
it.
and we-
Yeah.
Oh,
You gotta say, what's it?
yeah, what's it?
I slept in my car.
You
That's what it is.
gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. Good, how are you?
How you doing? I'm Daniel Jackson.
And water.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Take both yours.
I-
I couldn't do. I can go get my own. Where's it at? Oh, it's not, okay.
Trouble.
Mike, it's good to have you two together.
You don't have to follow this, but this is what.
Thank you.
Brother, look at you, sit in the power seat.
No.
Wow, you're in charge.
You gotta first.
Present.
Do you know if he's in there or if he's been able to get in because the holes in it?
She has great pens for you if you want them.
Roland, do you know if he's been able to get in? There's
Which
a
one's
hole.
that?
Get out of here. Respond.
Wait, let me.
I thought.
What is it? What did you think?
And you signed it in green, that is not official. It has to be blue or black ink.
Are you serious?
It's a legal thing.
Ours one. No.
I got blue.
Let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
Was it? No computer?
He's in there.
So I'm not ready.
No packet?
Yeah.
I do. Want to have 2 meetings in 1 month?
That's what you said.
Be careful.
This dog. You're going through it was yeah, we forever. Nope, we had to skip month because we only had 30. We had to
Is that
skip.
your cheat sheet?
Or we skipped at least 1 month. I don't know if it was March.
We can't do our stuff.
That was April.
Yeah, no
No,
one-
that was April.
No,
Okay,
we
got it.
didn't.
it probably was March.
This is not our meeting.
Something came up.
We got a last
They had
minute.
scheduled. They had a clerk,
They
that's what it was,
had-
interviews, clerk interviews. Okay, got it, figured it out. So this is.
Are you ready to start? Now we're waiting for Lori to return. We really will start this week. I feel like we should do the icebreaker and mix this all up. Blows. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lori, did you give him the oath of office? All right, and so, and he is, and you gave him a. Nice. I just saw these here, so I put, that's why.
Yes, I did, and, I told you I wanted to take it back then, but I had signature and this one, yes.
Great.
Oh, I know.
Okay, it's 7:08. This is an exciting evening. Welcome. I guess you all should be welcoming us because YPAC has crashed your commission meeting of a joint meeting between the Human Relations and the Police Advisory Commission today, being the 16th of May. So welcome, everybody. This is really exciting. I hope this is the first of several where we get to bring our heads together. First thing, First thing I want to share is just so everybody knows, YPAC is part of the Open Meetings Act. So if there needs to be any voting on it, we cannot do that today. We cannot vote on our approval of our minutes because of Open Meetings Act. So we will have to do that at our June meeting. So it's going to be, those of you that are very familiar with this, Lori, I am Michelle, Roland, Katie, I'm going to depending on you to tell me time out. Those of you that have worked with me before know that I have no problem taking input on when to stop. So with that said, Lori, would you like to do roll call, please?
Commissioner Wolcott,
Here.
Commissioner Mohammed, Commissioner McCormick,
Here.
Commissioner Hughes,
Here.
Commissioner Ennis Moldova.
Right.
Commissioner Mulas,
Here.
Commissioner Harper,
Here.
Commissioner House,
Here.
Commissioner Hudson. Commissioner
Here.
Commissioner Jackson.
We have recording going, so I'm going to encourage and remind everybody that when we speak, since this is being recorded, to use your microphone so people can hear in the future. So thank you very much. Agenda approval, HRC, do you have a agenda to approve?
Yes. I actually was going to ask before we did an approval if we could make an amendment to the agenda as our HRC group here. I noticed that letter point or agenda item 7D, the discussion on important mental health issues and public safety issues in the community. I'm hoping we can add after mental health issues, a comma, and then housing, and then comma and public safety issues, because I do think that that's important to include in this as it relates to public safety. So that was my only amendment that I had for the agenda.
Oh, okay.
I make a motion to make that amendment. Sorry about that.
Somebody help me. But can we do that? Someone has to second it, but that this is open. Okay, I'm really lost at this point in time. We can do that. So Roland, just keep feeding me what we can do and what we can't do, please. Okay, so is there a second?
I will second that.
Thank you.
Discussions. I would like to have the discussion of the fact that we came into this with the mental health. I'm not disagreeing with what HRC is saying, but what I would like to do is to set up the town hall meeting to say that this is a mental health town hall meeting and let members of our community bring up housing and these other issues. So we can just leave things wide open with the mental health issue. So we are not giving any preconceived notion other than mental health issues for this town hall meeting would be a thought that I would have to this.
Question, you just want mental health and not public safety as well?
Correct. So it would just be mental health. So we are going into this with, so hopefully, potentially at this meeting, people will bring up public safety and people will bring up housing and people will bring up all the other issues that go with mental health. I would, I can't even going to guess what they are, but going into this as we advertise this town hall meeting, since both groups have agreed upon this, it's just going to be for mental health.
I appreciate that. I do want to just make a point of clarity because maybe maybe our commission kind of thought something different than what was discussed at the YPAC commission, but when I first made the motion to have a joint town hall, it was to discuss public safety as it relates to mental health and housing. And when I initially reached out to you in March, I mentioned that we were interested in a joint town hall regarding public safety and housing, along with other items we may find necessary to discuss. So I would like public safety to still be a component of that. And if it's possible to have maybe like a few town halls where one is centered on mental health, one is centered on housing, one is centered on other, insert blank here, that might be an interesting way to approach this too, to be able to get to your point. But I do think it is important to still have housing as a condition in there.
Believe me,
Awesome.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all. It's just, as I said, I don't want to put in any preconceived notions. So if you have a mental health issue that isn't listed in what we advertise, people don't feel like they can't be there. So if we keep it more open-ended, then people can be there and then we'll get more out of it, is my thought. Other thoughts? Herman, Kathleen,
Justin, what do you?
Kristen, Brittany, Justin?
Yeah. Yeah, whatever we can go ahead and get started to go ahead and get moving forward, I'm with, period.
I agree to get started and moving forward, but how can you have mental health if you don't have public safety? It seems like they go hand in hand.
Okay.
I think that potentially just saying mental health will leave it too broad. And I could see a downside to your point of having it too open-ended. And I think that maybe having some points of some specifics like housing, like public safety, could actually kind of lead the discussion in some more beneficial direction rather than just it being more chaotic with just however people choose to mention.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
I did just make a motion to just add the housing in there as a discussion item. And we can obviously, when we get down into the mediator, facilitator discussion part, we can talk more about structurally how that could look as a facilitator. Whether it be we have breakout rooms or in one area is mental health and one is housing and one is insert again, another issue here that relates, but I'm wondering if we could just add housing into it just to be able to talk about it
Right,
at
but
least.
we're in the discussion part of the vote. So I want, there's
Oh,
two
cool.
more voices, three more voices that, before we can vote. So, Daniel, Kathleen, Herman, what are your thoughts about adding housing? And safety to the number D.
Just being sure, we're talking about section 7 and D, right? That
Correct.
discussion.
Yeah, to add into the agenda item. So we're making changes to D before we can vote on it. So we're now in the discussion part of this
Okay.
to add the changes. Okay. You have any input?
You want to add housing and add public safety to that.
You want to add housing and public safety, correct?
Public safety is already.
Yeah, public safety is already there, so just housing, yeah.
Housing.
I agree with housing as one that comes from managing housing.
Okay.
And managing the unhoused. So I think it is good to put that in there
Okay.
to be included because it does go hand in hand with public safety and it does go hand in hand with mental health.
Okay, perfect. Herman?
Thank you.
I'm just struggling with trying to separate. I'm just struggling with trying to separate it out. I don't, again, I don't see how we can just address mental health without thinking about how it impacts housing, how it impacts safety, how mental health impacts, other areas of the community. So So for me, I'm just trying to wrap my head around, how that town hall would look.
Okay. So, but for the agenda, are you comfortable with adding housing?
I am.
Okay,
My question.
can you move
Yep.
to the mic?
Yes, thank you. My question would be, in doing the town, for the purpose of this is discussing it so that we can communicate this to the public when we invite them to the town hall meeting. That's what I'm understanding is the intent. My question would be, what would be a success for that town hall meeting?
We will get to there. Right now, we're just deciding for the agenda item. We haven't voted on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Approve the agenda, so.
So just to
Pat
discuss,
made a,
basically just to
add-
discuss.
And wanted to add this, so so what happens is, it's been seconded and there's a discussion. Close the discussion and then we'll vote on whether we want housing or not want housing. On the agenda.
This is my first day. I think I'm just gonna listen.
No, you're doing a great
And,
job. That was,
I thought it was a great
it
question.
was a
Yeah.
good
Good
question.
question.
No, I'm willing to contribute and to talk. I don't mind talking now, But I think within this one, I think I don't have an opinion one way or the other. So because I'm still just getting used to the forum and the structure of everything and understanding the intent. So I think the more that this develops, I'll be able to contribute more in moments like these. So
With that said, any more discussion? I move that we close the discussion. That has to be seconded, correct? No. Okay, so voice vote,
And only HRC is voting, right?
only HRC's voting. Okay. Thank you for that reminder. I got
That is true.
confused
I know, right?
before. I
Oh.
got confused.
Okay,
Yeah.
so all,
Yeah, all those in favor?
hi.
Hi.
Is there abstentions?
It's hard to do a joint meeting when one has OMA and one doesn't.
Next.
Okay.
Never mind. We'll talk
We'll
about-
figure it out the more we do. We'll get there.
Then we'll have it on your guys' night and then we can all vote.
So I just have a quick question. So because of your Open Meetings Act, we do these joint sessions, you guys will never have the ability to vote?
We will have it on their night.
If we do it on our night, if we did it next week, then we could vote and it would.
If we
Good
had
to
moved to
know.
theirs, then
Meeting.
they could, and then.
I did not know that.
I
That is
learned
good
that
to know.
This afternoon.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
But will we have the ability to vote?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Approval of minutes. We just did that.
And so it's
No, we just.
our minute. So we just need to vote on our minutes from the last meeting.
Your minute, okay.
So I just need a motion for our minute.
I'm gonna make a motion to amend one of the minutes. I got another amendment, y'all. Apologies. I just first question, when we make an amendment to the agenda, does the amended agenda get updated to the website? Or does the original agenda stay on the website? Only because I was wondering, because we made an amendment last time to the agenda, and I was just wondering if that would be reflected, but I digress. That's okay. I was just curious. My question though,
Things got real sketchy at the beginning of the last meeting because
the internet or
the
something.
internet and
yeah.
I wasn't here and another staff person was doing it and things got real weird. And so it was real hard to reflect the minutes and the minutes and the notes and everything. So
Oh, no, it's all right. I was just curious if if it gets updated when
so it really stretched my capabilities.
No, it's okay. I did just, I did have
So
a,
like I was trying to read both like I was trying to read her minutes or her notes and read my own notes. And then it was and it would also been listening back through the tape recorder and the video. And I just couldn't do both. And I did my best from memory and piecing things together.
And I just wanted to say, because I looked down at the agenda approval and it said I rescinded my motion. I don't remember that, but maybe that was the reason.
It got real weird, guys.
Okay.
Got real weird.
yeah, I was gonna ask if there's a follow-up, that is on the minutes, like the discussion on social equity funds for marijuana businesses. I guess that's something that we'll just cover in today's proposed business, but my main question was, is the agenda amended, uploaded? But it's, we don't know that, and that's okay. I will figure that out later. That was my main question.
Is the amended agenda?
Yeah, I was wondering if I were to go onto the city website to look at the agenda, if I could see the amended agenda as the most recent, or would it be still the original agenda? Does that make sense?
I don't think I re-uploaded an agenda.
Okay, okay. There was only a small change, so it's really okay. I was just.
Well, I don't think I updated it. So if you can remind me of the change,
Okay,
I will fix it.
sure, yeah, I have I rescind what I just said about this motion. I don't have a motion.
Okay,
anymore.
yeah, if you can resend me the change, I'll make sure and change the agenda.
Okay.
Fixed, yeah.
Commissioner Hughes.
Well, that was my question. That's the general procedure, right? So when there's an amendment, it gets changed and it's up on the website.
Yes.
That's usual.
Yes, yes, that is
I'm just
correct.
asking.
That is correct procedural.
So,
Yes,
okay.
yep,
Still be what's there for
Sure.
and eight.
Okay,
All these-
so it's like documented, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
perfect.
So if you send it to me,
I
I'll. make
will,
sure
I will,
get the change.
thank you.
Yep. And then, I still need a motion though, to approve these minutes if they're correct or a correction.
Motion.
Thank you, Justin.
And I can't. Give me a second.
That's support.
No, I need, yeah, and I need support.
Is everyone okay?
Sorry, what was the motion to approve the minutes? I support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
These are abstentions? Thanks. Right? All right,
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah.
public comment.
Think we're at public comment. Public comment, you have 3 minutes. Please share your thoughts, your comments. We're going to go to within the building first, and then we will go virtually from that point. Oh, I'm not supposed to know that.
What's that? Hi, my name is Steve. I live in Ward 2 of Ypsilanti. I'm glad to see these two groups meeting. I know there was discussion in council about combining these two groups permanently, and I voted against that because I thought that the missions of these two groups were sufficiently different to warrant having them be separate entities. But there is enough intersection for this conversation to have, and I'm really glad to be having it. And I look forward to having participating in the meetings that you're talking about, the town hall meetings. So that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody virtual, Lori? No one? Katie? I'm looking.
If there's anybody virtually that would like to speak, they can raise their hand now. Doesn't look like there's anybody online that would like to speak.
Next, moving on, we have staff liaison reports, and that would be either staff liaison would be Katie and Kirk Moore or Chief Moore for staff. So Katie, do you have any liaison updates?
I do not.
Chief Moore? Why? I know. Chief Moore? Rumor has it you're out there in the virtual world. We can see your name.
Hello. Yeah, hello, everyone.
Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. You're asking for a staff liaison report from me?
Yes, do you have anything as our YPAC staff liaison that you would like to share with us, just going through information?
Not at the moment. I'm listening and observing, taking notes.
Beautiful. Thank you for being with us.
Okay.
Sweet. So moving on down the line. So in the discussion items, there's a lot of discussions. Once again, I sent, and hopefully everybody got copies of each other's bylaws. So we are familiar with each other's bylaws and what we can do. I took out of the HRC's bylaws, the commission shall from time to time conduct public forums, town halls, educational and other programs to promote the equal rights and opportunities of all persons. This shall include advocating for accountability to city council for broad-based changes that impact structural equity. And I thought that was important because we are right on track. And then the second one, section 7, is recommendations can be made to city council on ways to improve the city. And then governmental programs or ordinance designed to eliminate structural discrimination and or address the effects of past discrimination. So with that said, I mean, this is exciting, and both commissions have made the decision to do this. I'm using the words town hall and community forum because I don't know which one we want. I know we want to put people in the city in the same place at the same time to have a conversation in a wide variety of ways. So that would be something that, as we discuss this, for A, is discussion of holding a town hall or community forum. If that's open for discussion, so if people would want to add, just so HRC knows that I am, as a chair, like to get everybody's voices. So I will call upon you just to talk and to share. If you don't want to, please say pass. But I promise you that I will call on you because I just want to hear everybody's voice. Okay. So does anybody want to?
Yeah.
You look like you're all ready to go.
No, I mean, you know, I just this is on my mind. I'm still trying to learn everything, but my first thoughts are, okay, when we see a community forum, what does that look like? And then also, like, if we have our town hall, what would be the differences in comparison to figure out which one we want to go ahead and choose first? So I don't know, when we're saying community forum, what does that look like to everybody? That's what I'm curious about.
Like the difference between a community forum or a town hall?
That, or just in general, when we see, like, if we could just start off with a community forum. So I'm trying to get a perspective also of what that looks like.
I don't mind sharing some discussion thoughts or just thoughts for discussion. I first just want to say I'm really grateful to be here on this commission joint meeting with all of y'all and also with HRC. I first applied to HRC because I was on the Avalon Housing Community Benefits Committee. And I also am a prior criminal defense social worker and mental health professional in the jails. And so I have worked with people who have been entangled in complex systems and criminal legal system. And I've seen an overwhelming disparity of Black and brown bodies in these jails and also poor people, people with disabilities. And so I'm really grateful to be in a space where we're able to have these conversations to leverage this power, because this is a position of power in a way, and this is an honor that I take very seriously, that we get more than 3 minutes to share on this subject. And I do not take that lightly. And so I just want to say I was very grateful when I first initially said, hey, everyone, what do y'all think about a joint town hall? No one was hesitant to say yes. And I am very appreciative of that, because it means we all recognize that we have an issue. And in order to find comprehensive solutions, we need to understand the problem. I feel like sometimes we just throw solutions without really understanding the actual issue and what is causing our issues in our community. I like the idea of calling it a community forum. I think it does center community in that way, with just by the name of it. I think that we'll get more into the discussion of like exactly how the facilitation will happen. I'm excited to share some news about a possible facilitator. Um, but I don't think I have a preference on language other than I like centering the community and community forum. So I like that. That was a suggestion. And I also am open to having more than one. I think that there needs to be more than one. There's, there was a crisis last summer, but there's been more crisis since. Housing and mental health and crisis has been an ongoing conversation in our city for years. So it's not going away, and I'm really grateful that we're trying to approach it head on. And so I'm open to having some forums or community forums centered on certain issues. That way, if one person can't make one, they can make others. And maybe one of the first ones might tie in action steps wise to the second one, because I've noticed that we have a lot of sitting committees sometimes, and we meet all the time and we talk all the time. And I like to do a little bit of action stuff too. So I'm hoping that there will be some action items that come from this community forum, not only on us as commissioners, what we can do, but what can community members do? What can businesses do? What can local officials do? And so that's kind of my aim for this conversation.
I like that.
We have an opinion?
Yep.
Okay.
We're discussing the idea of holding the forum. I mean, that's the bad that we are having it. So now we get to build the scaffolding from that.
I think calling it a community forum as opposed to a town hall kind of sounds like a political meeting. Whereas community forum is more of a social inviting. And when you say community, you're inviting the entire community regardless of your status.
I like that.
For me, whether it's called a town hall or a community forum, I'm just excited to do that and to be part of that and to see that take place, because I think it's really important work. And I do like the idea as well of trying to find a language that is more inviting to individuals or from various backgrounds. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I was just agreeing. Everybody was looking, so I was just agreeing. I like the idea of having a variety of different people and everybody get different perspectives. So yeah, that's good. I like that. That's all, sir.
I agree. I think community forum, the wording alone, I think is a lot more inviting. I think we're all kind of leaning towards that anyways. Everyone seems to be nodding.
I agree with forum more so than town hall.
Okay, so we cannot vote on this. So, given that we're not voting, can we agree that with the terminology that we are going to use moving forward for this discussion is going to be a community forum?
Yes.
I agree.
Agree.
I agree
Support.
with that.
YPAC people thumbs up or thumbs down?
I'm not voting, but I agree.
Okay. Okay. So, community forum, okay. So, and I'm also hearing that we want to potentially have more than one. Potentially or not, but so let's start with one. So
Right.
we are doing our first community forum discussion. So moving forward, do we want to now go on to B and figuring out a location for the community forum, or more the nuts and bolts for it?
Do you mind if we do like at least not? Okay, cool. I don't really I'm fearful because we only have this 2 hours, and it's like, it was hard to even try to get this going. There was so many different hoops to jump through. I would I would hate for things to get delayed more and then never to actually happen. So if it's possible to have at least like one schedule that's centered around mental health and one that's centered around housing, because we agree those two things right now. And one can be centered in Ward 1, and one next one can be in Ward 2, and the next one can be in Ward 3. However, to be able to make sure we're having different wards included and different perspectives, I would hate for us to just only choose one, and then I fear that the next one wouldn't get scheduled, and it's not on anyone in particular. It's just like a fear of
Oh, no.
mine from.
And something else that it says in the HRC bylaws is ad hoc committees for special purposes can be created.
You're right, and I discussed.
Awesome.
So what so how would ad hoc committees fit into working with these and then creating and then coming back and feeding the information back to this? Justin, I'm really sorry. I just prompt you over you. So Justin, what were you gonna say?
Nothing. I was just right on this. I was
Not
right.
over me.
Yeah, no, you didn't. I was just with you, yeah.
Okay, so
I wonder also, sorry, just as a point of order for HRC, I wonder if, how do you guys feel about voting? Since YPAC isn't voting tonight because they can't, do you guys feel that it's important to vote on the things that we're saying? Yes, we feel comfortable with that but we're not voting because they're not voting. Do you guys want to make sure that we do vote tonight on those things,
For the
that we have voted on them?
so it's on
Yes.
record.
So it's at that, so that those things are in fact on the record for us.
Yes.
So that then when they vote on it next week, then it's on the record for them, so that we've all agreed.
Excellent.
Okay, great. So would somebody like to make a motion to agree that we are going to call it a community forum?
Motion called a community forum.
All right, great. Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? That was everybody, so no. All right, great, thank you.
Just have we picking back up with B, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. Just have a question. So I heard you say that we could have it scattershot in different wards, with mental health, housing, public safety. My, idea is that mental health, housing, all pertain to public safety.
Mhm.
So I would like to see it all included, public safety, mental health, public safety, housing, public
Yes.
safety, versus separating it out. So those that even don't have direct mental health issues, or maybe neighbors or friends or cohorts of those with mental health issues and have seen it from a distance or not, or close up hand, can participate too, and feel that it's not just designated at those persons, and the community at large can join in.
Thank you for saying that. I also want to uplift that in the sense of, to me, when I first brought this forward in January, I was thinking, I love community forums still. My brain thought so logistically with town hall, but it is very political sounding. So I like community forum, Gail, a lot, Chair Wilkoff. But what I was wondering is if it's way to think through this as like a public safety conversation as it relates to different approaches of public safety, mental health, housing, community violence prevention. Like that was just the third one I came up with. It doesn't have to be that if other people have other ideas, but my thought is like those are all forms of public safety. It doesn't have to necessarily, it can still say mental health and public safety. I agree with that. But I think we sometimes think really literal of what public safety means, and we immediately associate law enforcement, but that's not always what public safety necessarily means. And so I thought this is a kind of creative way to get our community members and ourselves thinking together collectively of what are ways we can keep each other safe in the community without necessarily those structures, but with investing in mental health care, investing in housing, investing in community violence programs. So that's my thought on that. And if it means tagging the word mental health and public safety with it, that's okay with me as well.
Or even if it could be people's public safety, if you think people are differential to law enforcement. When I had a neighborhood association started, people didn't want to come because the police were there. So I can understand that. So you have to tweak it. It could be people's public safety or something like that.
Community safety.
So what would happen if we pick up on that? And use, instead of doing mental health, but having that as a subcategory. So we're doing a community forum on people's safety, public safety, whatever it is. And then as we advertise it, and then another category under that of, and people who have marketing backgrounds can help us with this one, but then also have the ideas, like the breakouts of, you know, specific mental health, you know, housing, whatever we have, and the different categories, and maybe just do 2 or 3, or having, but to keep it open-ended enough that people feel welcome, but then where we're starting, and then having some of the other ideas.
So what, for sake of time then, should we just, like, you go back to what you said, focus on the one, and then next time we can we can crash y'all's commission meeting and we can talk about the second one at a later.
Or if we want to do that, or we could just say that this is a community forum on public safety.
Our
And these are
public
some of
safety
the-
series, you know, and
Uh,
the first one we're gonna do is maybe mental
Right.
health, the second one TBD.
Yep.
Public health.
I like
series.
that
So the
series.
first one is mental health.
Community forum series on public safety.
Episode 1.
Community forum series on
So
public.
you all have to vote to get this in record. So it would be, so someone has to make a motion. So it's community forum, just so I'm understanding, community forum series, and then the first one's going to be mental health. 2 would be, what did you say?
Housing.
Housing?
I can just make a motion on the community forum series if you want first, and then to do the 3 subsets later, or do you want to do
Oh,
the?
no, I'm just thinking along the lines. I
Okay.
Look at, you know, the triangle of what we need.
Right.
Maslow's triangle, and have those bottom line things of what we all need.
Yeah.
So where do we want to start? I mean, is it mental health or housing? I mean, to me, it's hard to put. Daniel, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know the place for this. Maybe this is, helpful, but I was thinking too, in regards to the series, as we're thinking about this part of it, the technical part of how this is gonna lay out. I was also kind of thinking about, and maybe this is, you can help me if needs to be moved to another part of this conversation. But I was thinking, if we're gonna invite the community, what are ways that we can attract people? Because most people that are struggling with mental health necessarily aren't, unless there's a draw to invite or to help or to serve beyond just having a conversation about something that's very deeply personal, that it seems like it would be good to do maybe like something like a fun thing that the community can participate in, that then on the other side, we can invite people to come and join to do more types of events and things along those lines, if that even makes sense.
No.
I just seeing this picture of like fun things for the kids and mental health this, and all the different organizations around that can come together and put together a community event and draw the community in and talk about it and have, make it not a shameful thing. And where people can share their stories or whatever, and have resources that are there. And then we can invite people that are there to join us for a deeper conversation around this, where we can create better, where we can listen and understand what they feel is the felt needs. But I was just thinking about, just if we just have a town hall meeting or a community forum meeting without some type of relational building, we may not get the turnout that we're hoping for.
For sure. We
I don't know
also,
if that's
That makes sense.
I think it makes sense. I feel like it's in a way it's centering healing and relationships and belonging, the sense of belonging, which is important, and every human has an innate need to belong. And I think that sometimes is what's missing. And so maybe a third option on public safety is community wellness or community belonging. I'm not sure, but like something that we could talk about that. That's a different discussion, but I do agree with you, Daniel, or Commissioner Jackson, in the sense of it's important to not pathologize trauma and always speaking about that, and also centering the healing aspects that come of it as well. And so I do want to like say I appreciate that comment and that I agree. But I'll just make a motion real fast and for the discussion on holding a community forum. I make a motion that we hold a community forum series on public health with mental health and housing, and another one to be determined.
Support.
Wait, on what? Sorry, say it again.
Mental.
Yes,
Can you repeat that one more time?
yes, sorry. I make a motion for us to hold with YPAC a community forum series on public safety with subcategories that relate to enhancing community safety, period.
Relate to,
Enhancing community safety.
we have a second.
Second, support.
Are we looking to determine what our first one of the series is?
No, it's just on holding it. That one can come at D. Right? D is more of like,
That B, location. B is.
oh, B, yeah, for location.
Yeah, that's what she.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question, Katie. What was?
Is that what you were saying?
No, my question was, are we trying to narrow down what we're doing first? But I guess we're not. We're just talking about the topic still, with the general.
So we at A.
Okay,
So we're at A.
okay, right. Yep. So sorry. Just
No, thank you for asking. No, because we're.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Kathleen, Herman, Roland, thoughts? Love it when you look at me like, what? Input, thoughts? About, I know you're awesome, but, holding a public series, community series, do you have comments? Because we can't vote.
I like.
You
the
like,
idea.
okay.
Love the idea.
Awesome.
Kathleen, Roland,
I like having a series because once you start these, there may be more points that come up.
That's
And with a series, it really doesn't have an end. So you can always add to it and
Mm.
continue until, we're getting the results that we want.
Mm,
messaging's awesome, so we've turned it to community to we don't have an end.
I love that.
Roland?
I'm in agreement with all things said.
So diplomatic. Michelle, do you have input, thoughts? Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Katie, I know you've been organizing from that end, but you have input on this?
I mean, I really like what Commissioner Jackson included about making sure that as much as it's a conversation, that we're not making it just a conversation about people, that we're making sure that the people feel centered and that they have an opportunity to get the resources and that they need as well. And I think that that's really important piece of
Level
the
of
picture.
safety.
My understanding of the forum is that it's the participants, it's the community that come together with the questions, ideas, and thoughts. And then what we as the what's the word? with putting this together, we'll then gather all that information and then move and have an event or something like that where, that you were talking about. So that's what I think forum's all about.
And I do have another thought, because Kate keeps mentioning resources. She keeps throwing that in there. And no, it's awesome because we can have, like some of the groups that aid in,
I got excited.
houselessness, food insecurities. You can have people from like Mr. HUD help people navigate
I love that idea.
those
System.
websites to get housing. You can have like housing commissioners there.
I love that idea, Commissioner McCormick. I think that's having almost like a resource fair
Correct.
existing at the thing for people to get connected and know what's going on. I love that idea. I also think there is a group that also does like resource navigation for people because navigating those websites are really challenging. Yeah, I did that for 10 years, so that is very hard to do that, but you get the hang of it after 10 years to know what to do. So, it'd be cool to reach out to those people to be able to help set some stuff up. I really like that idea a lot.
I think it would be cool to set up to also reach out to our landlords that are in the city when we come to the housing issue. Because they're a big participant to this too. They're part of the community.
So invite
Yeah.
I actually did have a resident bring that to my attention today as a possibility of an interest of not maybe being careful of how we want to frame that, like not necessarily having this like centering of landlords per se, but more so of trying to understand hearing maybe even their perspective on the situation for us to be able to know where are they coming from, how are they defining these issues? Because if we're working from two different definitions, we're not going to ever be on the same page. So it might be helpful to be able to hear from that. And I don't know what that could look like exactly in this moment, but someone did bring that up to me as well to echo that.
Oh, no, I was just thinking about that. Yeah, coming from different perspectives, sometimes that could be hard to kind of blend them. So I think that had definitely be a strategic approach. But yeah, other than that, yeah, everything's good.
So would people be comfortable with adding to the community forum series on public safety with subcategories that relate to enhancing community safety as the topic, and also being able to say that at all of these community forums, there will be resources there related to the subtopic in
Yeah.
there, and then this would going down to just the inviting people as Daniel brought up and as many of us think about, but making sure that we make it totally accessible to people.
Yes.
So we have childcare, it's wheelchair accessible. We have somebody interpreting sign language. We have somebody, but we are covering every accessibility. So there literally isn't, we're going to find all of those barriers. So, because at this point in time, the way it's worked with is if you need something, then you come to us. And that's not the way it works.
Right.
It's like if you need something, you don't show up if it's not there. But if we're advertising that we will have somebody interpreting sign, or we will have accessibility, or we have childcare, or we
Yep.
have these things, then we're potentially going to get a larger community.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe somebody like Spanish speaking, getting the interpreters with Spanish, Arabic, I know is another one. What are the 3 or 4 languages in the city of Ypsilanti? I know
Yeah.
that there's Spanish, Arabic, and I don't know whatever languages, but those are the 2 that I know that are very
Prevalent.
Prevalent, yeah.
So, so that would be, as we're thinking about resources and spaces, bus line, parking,
Thank you.
Plus tokens.
Yeah, I thank you, Chair, for bringing that up. That is really important. And real quickly, before I continue on that, I wanted to also say like Ipsy Tenants Union would be also a cool place to connect with for the housing subcategory, because Ipsy is a large renter population. So it'd be good to connect them to some resources like the tenants union. But going back to accessibility, I agree. It's important to make this as accessible as possible. Especially since, you know, people are giving up their nights or their times to be able to come participate, because they're coming because they're hoping something comes of it. And assuming the best intentions with that. And childcare is amazing. And what I love about community is that people do assist when we ask them to help, or if we ask them if they have the capacity to help. So I'm sure we could find a way to be able to have someone participating and volunteering their time to hang out with kids. We could have a potluck. We could maybe have a group maybe donate some food to us. There's a lot of opportunities, because I know that food also is a really good way to get people to come.
Food and music.
Yeah.
That would be our marketing strategy, whoever is marketing here. Well, I don't know. You
Yeah,
said
here we
that.
go back.
Yeah.
When you got inviting community partners to invest, we have a lot of community partners that can provide that food. You just
Yeah.
have to tap into it.
Mm-hmm.
And they are invited. That's one way they will be invited, but they will also be that participant.
And it will directly benefit them,
Correct.
you know, because we have all of these restaurants that will directly benefit from safety.
One of the things that I think I really appreciated, Chair, what you shared, in regards to going to where the people are and different ways we can engage. Because, and again, just I know we all are aware of this, but you know, having that relational connection and building that creates the door to be able to, for people to feel comfortable enough to share. And a lot of our most vulnerable community members that are struggling in this area, um, I think it would behoove us to be intentional to make sure there is some type of relational connection, to reach out and to invite beyond just an email or a flyer.
Oh, yeah,
And so just to put that in there for the marketing team.
the marketing team.
It's Katie. Just kidding. Katie would actually agree.
Can't like canvassing or going.
No,
even
we'd all
going
have,
door
we'd
or
all have to
whatever.
do this one. I mean, we all.
I mean
have to
but
do
we
this.
Yeah.
we can when we delegate and when we ask for help. I feel like we're so siloed that we feel like it's all on us and it all weighs on our shoulders. But like it is possible to do these things when we just say, hey, you do this, you do that by this date, and we just work.
So are we speaking on location right now?
Oh,
Mm.
Is that where
No,
we
this
at?
is for-
I should move
Yeah.
on it.
Right, we're gonna move on, right.
At some point, very.
both. I think we're in
Talk
between
about
A and
now.
B,
Okay,
honestly.
So let's.
So
So we should.
Okay, so we're officially
And
going to
then-
move that. So location of the community forums. I've heard, if I could just share what I've heard, I've heard potentially we have a series. We have 3 different wards, having one in every ward. I've also made the motion that we make sure that each place is accessible to people. So that's where and what we have so far for the location for the community forums. So the first one that we would be talking about is mental health,
Mental health series.
the mental health series. So do people have thoughts on places, buildings where that, or we're even
What
outside?
what areas usually have community invites? Like what places that we know of that have been supportive to this type of work?
Places, oh, you're welcome to it, but places that I can think about that I know that the Ypsilanti Community Center, I mean, the senior center has a sound system that has been put in and it's easily accessed. Riverside Theater, but there's rent there. Then we have, what's the building?
Great
on
House.
North Washington,
Oh,
Steve.
Oh, Steve's place.
oh, Ypsilanti
Performance
performance space.
They have a good sound system. Freight House, their sound system is really hard to hear. So we'd have to, because it's almost like it's a freight house without any acoustics, or a lot of acoustics. A lot of acoustics, that's not lacking. But I'm just hearing, I mean, if you have hearing aids, you're gonna like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard to hear. I mean, those are what I have. Please throw other places.
What about Park Ridge Community Center?
Park Ridge
I
Community.
was, yeah,
And then
You
the
also have community rooms at different apartment communities in the area. Like on Hilliard Robinson Way and on Michigan Avenue.
So up at like the new Park Ridge,
Right, there's a community
the
center
community
there.
center at New Park Ridge.
And there's one at Hamilton Crossing and there's one at Sock Trail.
Oh, those would be awesome.
what was the last one you
Well,
said?
Sock Trail.
Okay.
So are we having this indoors or outdoors?
What a wonderful question.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes.
It's just,
I mean,
Oh,
could be a
the
thing.
weather's getting better.
It
The
is
weather's
scary.
nice.
One day could be.
Yeah.
Better
It
than
is
we're in
unpredictable.
in the
And we just
past-
prepare for, oh, I'm sorry, go
You
ahead.
good. In the past, if I'm not mistaken, there's been a few town halls, even though this is not a town hall, it's more of a community forum. But there has been town halls held at the high school. So
Mm,
they have the big. I was just in there. They got the big auditorium, a bunch of seating, great sound system. You know, yeah.
that's a good suggestion.
Great.
That's a good
We've
suggestion.
used Park Ridge and where else?
On
did we
parking.
have the second one?
On a parking lot.
It does.
Senior Center.
Put vendors.
And there's a classroom for childcare if her, oh, I mean,
And
I'm
then
just thinking of
also, when you speak about the classrooms, that can also work for breakout.
breakout rooms.
So, like if have everybody gather in the auditorium, give the initial conversation, and then break out into 2 or 3 breakout rooms in each classroom. You know,
Yeah, I like that
yeah.
suggestion. for them.
In the breakout rooms, you can have the specific resources for that in that room. So if they want to go
Food
get
trucks
X, Y, and Z,
outside.
they go to room 1 and things of that nature. Right.
Big parking.
Gosh,
That's just a
sorry.
thought.
I was
It's not-
listening to you and then Brittany
it's
said
not in the
food
city.
trucks outside and I was like, wow.
Estabrook and you have Y High,
Estabrook
um,
is
Y High and
wise.
Wise.
They charge rent.
Oh,
It's the same thing, Ipsy School.
Ipsy schools will charge.
They charge taxes.
Don't look
Is
at
it
me
a-
surprised.
Are they cook-
Is
Excuse
it
me.
they have to charge rent, or are you saying they do charge rent?
They do charge.
Maybe
I
they
don't
got-
know if we went to them. Katz wonderfully continually says that if we ask, they will come.
Let me
So
investigate.
Well, if
Right, I mean.
All they can say
service
is
maybe,
no.
it's a survey. I mean, but the same thing that we're
But
saying, the
this-
same thing with food trucks.
this is
know.
their community partners,
This is
right?
their community part. Well, I'm just saying that, because as I was going through these things, who charges rent?
They can also do an enrollment drive at the same time.
Sorry, that was a gasp
Get
of
excited about things.
everything that you say. I'm a social worker, so this is everything. I'm like resources. Yes, I got it. Okay.
Or do we partner it on one of their already happening events, right? Like, they do lots of other,
Oh, we crashed their event?
we don't crash it, we partner.
Thank you.
That's my marketing brain.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you were someone.
And that's what I was saying, because they have just as much vested in this as
They absolutely do.
city
Right.
does.
Yeah, no, and I wasn't just saying the public schools, but all these places that we've listed potentially.
So I think we pick one and approach them.
So so far I have Park Ridge Community Center, or the new Park Ridge Community Center, Park Ridge Community Center, which are do everybody know that those are 2 separate places?
Yes.
No, okay, there's the community center, Park Ridge Community Center, that's a very large building, that's a community, and then there's and then part of New Park Ridge, which is a housing complex right next to the community center, as a community center too. So we're talking 2 separate places. And then we have Sock Trail, which is on Michigan Avenue. They also have, that's community housing. They also have a community center. And then we have Hamilton Crossing, which is also community housing that has a community center. The senior center, we talked about, the Freight House, Riverside Arts Center, Ypsi Community Schools or the high school or any of the number of Ypsi Community Schools, Performing Arts Center. I'm gonna suggest
What did you say also on North Washington?
the Performing Arts Center. I'm gonna suggest that we eliminate or, because we're going for the first community forum series on mental health, a location. And possibly come up with 2 or 3, and then we investigate if they're going to charge us an availability. Kathleen.
So if our first one is gonna be mental health, I'm thinking of the Performance Arts Center because of its accessibility to the transit center
Mhm.
and how we have a lot of, groups there.
And I know that there are groups that meet there
Correct.
that connect to mental health.
Right, they pass out food and.
But they pass out food
there you
and there are
go.
also support groups that meet there.
And there's a parking space there. I've never been inside of that building before. Is it spacious for,
And there's breakout rooms.
perfect?
Or there could be breakout rooms.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind that idea. I like that idea. I also really love the idea of the school, and that could come out a different series. But I think that makes sense.
Housing could be.
That's what I was just thinking. Housing might be great at the high school.
Or housing could be great at the.
One of the community
Community
centers.
crossings that I was thinking.
Yeah.
for the housing.
True.
Yeah, because those would be great. I mean, how else?
Let me see where this place is. I don't know.
Which one?
think a question would be how many people that big.
What is
Maybe,
it?
maybe we should figure that out first, like the space capacity.
It's a large hall.
Which one are you?
Which one? The one on
People.
North Washington?
The performing arts space.
Performing arts space.
And the estimation, like how many people, just like estimated, do we have any numbers? Like,
We don't know.
We don't have any.
How
Well,
I've
many-
never been in there. That's why
How
I'm
many
asking.
people are
Like,
going to be there or how many people will hold?
well, will it
Will
hold?
hold.
The one on, where Brian do his.
Where you say this is
At
at?
least 100.
100. I'd say at
I
least.
don't know. Which one is they talking about? Cause they could.
Space.
Space?
Center. Let me look it up. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, we got Google.
And I think
Ah.
I was going to know like in the complexes, they do have a big space, but again, I think we would. need to
Here.
have capacity.
Which one?
The Ypsilanti Performance Space.
Oh,
'Cause some of the, you're right, some of
Right
those
up.
apartment ones too, if they only have one bathroom, their legal limited capacity is smaller
At
than.
a
Go to
church?
the transit center
They took
on North Washington.
Yeah.
Oh, I know where that is. It's the
Where
old
there's that
church.
Big parking lot.
Right down the street from the
and then
bus
there's the
stop.
church.
So do you think people gonna come in the
bathrooms,
church?
Hand washing sinks.
It's a church, right? Old
It's an
church?
old church.
Yeah,
Exit.
These are all great questions.
yeah.
I was, do we want to start at the top or do elimination? I was just thinking of,
If we're doing elimination, I would say to, even though I don't want to eliminate this, eliminate the freight house because of the acoustics and being able to hear everything.
now we need to take things off. So
Right.
thank you.
I actually am in support of like even though I have no vote, but I have,
do.
no, I don't. I'm more in support of like the senior center.
Okay.
Cause they do have a big open space, just like every other one of these options that we have, but I don't know.
They don't have space for breakout rooms, but if it is warmer outside, I guess people can break out
They're
outside.
going to be doing construction.
Oh,
They're gonna be doing construction.
But they're gonna-
Oh.
That doesn't, I mean, they only have a park there. I mean, for the outside,
Where they doing construction at? At
on
the,
the outside.
oops, different area.
No, I mean, no, so senior center. So we have one elimination and one vote for. So why don't we go, I know,
And
We-
just a-
hypothetically have one elimination and one strong suggestion of senior center, yay, and the suggestion of removing the freight house. Anybody else suggesting that we remove the freight house? Because let's work with trying to get rid of some of these numbers or
Yeah.
some of these places. You were freight house,
Freight house removal.
remove. Justin.
Sure, yeah, Freyhouse removed.
Other, Pat, we need a yes, yes. Okay, so now we're only down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
And what are
9 more. Okay, the ones that we have are Park Ridge Community Center, the new Park Ridge, Sock Trail, Hamilton Crossing, Ypsilanti Community Schools, the high school, the senior center, and the performing arts center, which I didn't get the name right. Space. Sorry.
I mean, I
think
kind of
maybe
like the
the-
performing arts if it has the thing, but it's a church. And I don't know how, if that's gonna stop people that don't want to enter that space from entering.
Is it still considered?
It
a
looks
church?
like one.
It still looks like.
I mean, what, you gonna say, okay, you're looking at a church, yes, you're gonna say, oh, no, that's not a church, but it is. So we need some place that's welcoming to all, if that's what we're trying to do.
Yep, okay.
And
No,
some
I
people
love that.
might
Thank you.
have an issue with that. I go to church, but some people might not. And if we have people with mental health,
Right.
they have issues that stop them from going places
Mhm.
or engaging, and we don't want them not to engage. So it needs to be a neutral place,
What about,
like a senior center,
I'm
I
getting
say,
in-
or a park.
what about a tent in an open space?
Yeah.
I was gonna say like even Riverside Park, Recreation
amphitheater.
Park, which is next to the Ipsy Center, Seniors Center,
Pavilion that already exists.
or the pavilion that already exists at Riverside Park. I mean, bugs.
Well, where are we gonna
Oh.
get, I mean, so we need a good sound system.
And access to a bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, maybe we should talk to our council members about getting bathrooms back there. That'd be
Oh,
great.
I'm too, we would, if we.
Can't
if
solve
we
everything tonight,
choose-
sorry.
If we choose to go to the park,
Moving
which is
right
an
along.
awesome idea, then to me, the two things that we have to think about is number one, a tent, and we need a sound person.
And a bathroom.
And a bathroom. All
You
right.
talking about bringing kids?
Nobody drink anything.
Well, you talking about
10
kids.
hours before.
Kids,
All the porta
kids.
potties down
Oh,
Nobody
wait.
can use the
a
bathroom,
porta
don't
potty.
eat, don't drink.
Porta
Okay,
potty.
okay.
I would like to, maybe if we can take off of the new Park Ridge, I mean, as an option. Just because of the space, I don't know if it's,
Parking's hard.
yeah.
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 Okay, so we've had someone proposing getting rid of New Park Ridge. We're
That's
gonna
one
go
of the-
this way around. Kathleen, eliminating New Park Ridge. Herman. Once.
Fine.
Okay.
Juanita.
Juanita, I'm sorry. Juanita, Kat?
I'm all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so New Park Ridge.
For
is
this
done.
series.
Yeah,
I would say for this.
For this series, okay, but we're just going for this series.
right. I was gonna say, I think we all really seem to like the high school or the school idea. So
I like the school.
everyone was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I even went at your enrollment idea. So I'm like, maybe we should just start there.
School and the
We want to
senior center.
eliminate all
Yeah.
that.
What about Perry School?
Or, yeah.
Yeah, I thought about that.
That's in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people know where that is because they send their children, they're young, you know.
Where? Where?
Perry.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have the whole, park out there that we can do fun stuff and stuff for the kids.
I like it because there's not an auditorium. My concern with an auditorium is we are back into rows. And when people see rows, people behave.
They might have a gym. We
You
could get
don't
in a.
say anything because you're in front and you have people in front versus the people in the back. And then we have the whole sociology of rows and
Haven't they done mayoral forums at Perry? Haven't they used
Yes.
that like auditorium?
Well, they got the.
Educate Youth has led many forums. That's where we go for our forums. When
They-
we've had community
Yeah.
candidate forums.
Yeah.
We've done all of our school board
Is it free?
forums there.
People there.
No. Well, it was a 50-50, wait, I lied. I'm lying, 100% lying to you. It was a 50-50.
What's that mean to us?
Yeah, how much was that?
Well, that means that each time we do it, it's a,
How expensive was it? Tell us.
it was. that
So-
was a long time ago.
so it's no-
So let's check Perry.
Yeah.
Do you want to be?
I can check it.
Okay, so Perry's
Herman's
number
gonna check.
one.
Thank you,
So,
Commissioner Humes.
Let's go 3, 1, 2, and 3. What's
Okay.
2? Senior center?
Yes.
Okay.
Then the high school.
So does anybody want to contact
Or
the
air- or-
senior center? Monica,
I'm happy to do that. That's, I can, are we contacting them to say, 1, what's the capacity? 2, what's your rate?
and would you charge us?
Okay. And then what are the other questions?
Are you agreeable to having this?
Okay, cool. So capacity, rate, charge, and will you do it?
Right, we would, but make it clear that, that was such a rude way to say.
They're
it.
gonna ask you for a
If you
date.
could ask to make sure we could use their
That would
sound
be a date.
system.
Yeah, all the facilities that we would need. I
Okay.
give a brief of what we're expecting.
Okay.
But we definitely want to make sure that.
No, it's
we're
D, it's last.
So Perry, we would need a sound system. So we're back to needing a sound person. Good thing
You the
that we
sound
all know sound people.
You the sound person?
Be sure to.
Hey, woo-hoo, look at that.
We have someone in the audience saying they will
Yeah, but
help
I
us
knew
with the
that we had-
sound.
I knew we had
Same
a
with
number of
Commissioner
sound
Jackson.
systems in, or people were connected to. I was waiting for one of these sound system people to like pipe up.
Megaphone.
So we got 1 Perry School with Commissioner Humes, 2 Senior Center with me, and the
Number
questions,
3,
I was gonna say the questions are facilities included, capacity, rate, would you charge us, and a date when we establish that.
what about the performing space?
Okay.
No.
No. Okay, that's
I
a
said
solid no.
Why
No, that's cool.
why
I
don't we
love
do
it.
the high school?
The high
What
school.
did you say? What's that one little school down the
I
street?
think one of the other elementaries is the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah. One of
What
those.
about, why?
Works at
Because
Tesco.
Yeah.
we be on
Mhm.
that side,
Oh,
because
Mhm.
right now we're over here
Yeah.
on this side of town, and if.
Yep, one of those.
Wise on near Prospect.
But that's Adams.
Correct.
Is that Adams School? Mr. Humes, since you are going to be talking to Ypsilanti Community Schools, would you be willing to do 2 schools?
All right.
And the question is not, would you charge? It's like, would you invest in the community?
Mm.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you. That is a PR.
Right.
I like that.
Might want to come up with a script.
Yeah, honestly,
Like a script on how to go and convey these.
our
messages.
PR representative, Commissioner Juanita here, is going to write us a script for us to send to everyone.
Okay, moving on. It's.
Yeah, support.
You know, we have
Oh, yeah, we'll pass it.
36 minutes. Mediator and facilitator leading the town hall or the forum. This was one, a few of us met, we discussed, let me give a little bit of background so people know where we got to this. Is making
Thank you.
sure that somebody knows how to lead community forums, to make sure that all voices are heard, given the topic that we are doing that. The difference between a mediator and a facilitator are, to me, like one person doing the logistics, one person leading the meetings. Something that I just, just without any more said, but making sure that, because we're all going to be part of it, so I'm sure many of us have these skills, but having somebody from the outside
Oh,
coming in
Sure.
gives a very different message that this is inclusive and we're serious, because we've all been talking about this, all the commissions, for a long period of time. But so this is the history, a little bit of the history of why we want to bring in a mediator and a facilitator. With that said, Kat, you've been doing some research.
Yes. So I'm a part of the Metro Detroit Restorative Justice Network with the Detroit Justice Center in Detroit, and I reached out to the network founder to inquire if they knew anyone who was a restorative justice practitioner that has facilitation experience and would be interested in doing this. They did put me in contact with someone as an opportunity. This person is a multidisciplinary artist, an art historian who blends creative practices into their diversity, equity, and inclusion and anti-racism work. They have over 8 years of experience delivering events and experiences to diverse audiences, and they are a seasoned facilitator who offers a playful approach to learning that promotes creative thinking and behavior change. And so that made me excited when I read that, because that sounds perfect. But I also wanted to bring that here to inquire what others thought about that.
Mediator or facilitator?
Facilitator.
Would it be possible to have the same facilitator for the series?
That is a good question. I am happy to inquire that.
Got a question. Could Councilwoman King do that? Yeah.
I haven't been able to, I have a meeting with them next week and I will inquire those details about series and costs and if they would be willing to invest in our community of Ypsilanti.
Let's stop. I'll bypass the question. Would you be able to do that? Because see, my concern is a face for this city that is here and familiar with us, not somebody coming from somewhere else
Yeah.
and engaging. We need somebody that they can recognize, because if once we finish this, we want them to be able to say, hey, I remember that person
Stop you on the street
and I can do so and so, or I can get in touch with that one. They wouldn't be able to get in touch with that person.
Right.
But I think there's also value, as Gail was saying, to having somebody that's from the outside, that's not from here.
I was gonna say it could be both, right? I mean, there could be someone who's the mediator and welcomes people, and there's also the person who's the neutral, impartial, if you will, voice to be able to facilitate the many conversations. Because I know that that was an issue that came up in some of the solutionary circles this past summer. Is a lot of people were implying that the facilitation was biased when a council member had led the conversation. And I wouldn't want to put council member King in that predicament for others to say similar things and or saying that it's a political agenda with their facilitation. But I do think that it's important to still have maybe a liaison there as our member, but
Okay, but then, go ahead.
We don't want the community to say that, I am being biased. And if I did say yes, I would say Councilmember Tucson as well, since we are a combined commission.
Yeah,
So that's what I would say. So I was like, I'm thinking it could be both of us and an additional person. But as far as completely leading it, because of the issues in the past, I don't know 100% how comfortable I would be with doing that, because while we are trying to do something for the good of the community, we know sometimes people come.
Gotcha. Now, my concern is we always getting somebody from the outside. I don't like that.
hear you.
I'm telling you this right now. We have enough talent here in
Yeah, all right.
Ypsilanti.
for sure.
All
We
right.
have enough professionalism here in Ypsilanti to utilize in the surrounding area.
Right, we have.
Yeah.
To utilize what we have
dispute
here.
resolution center.
And I get so tired of people coming from somewhere where they are not invested in and don't know what's going on and showing up. So I think my
I agree.
would be
I
look
agree with that.
local.
Thank you.
I mean, thank you. I mean, the places that I can think of is there's the
Dispute
dispute
resolution.
resolution center.
We got colleges.
I mean,
Yeah,
no, but I'm just thinking,
You know what I mean?
so let's like take a moment and brainstorm places that we can, so we have this dispute.
I'm also not entirely sure like where this individual is centered, but I do respect that notion and want to also make sure that we're investing in the community as we're taking from the community. And so I am happy to look when I meet with this person, I'm happy to inquire where they're from and what that is, because I'm actually not entirely sure. The network expands to this area, and I know that we have partners with dispute resolution. So I'm happy to also inquire there, but I know that there is restorative practices or a program at Ypsi Community Schools as well, which I'm sure there's facilitators there that we could ask. I'm happy to keep looking. I just wanted to bring, yeah, some conversation.
Eastern
But if-
Michigan.
Okay,
we got
Eastern Michigan, do other people have resources?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, I like the idea of drawing on somebody that's here locally. And I think even highlighting the schools, and those that are, teachers in regards to mental health, would be great if we know anybody like that, but I mean, we can reach out
Yeah.
and we can start to
Yeah.
get a list of names.
Yep.
So maybe that might be another step if maybe we can get a list of different names that we can think of.
I like that approach.
So is it comfortable, are people comfortable that, given the time and wanting to move on and thinking about it, that we all own the homework, that we're gonna do research and then making sure that we have each other's emails and let's
I don't think we
send
can,
names to people?
I don't think we can all email because of y'all's OMA, but what I think we could do is we could do our homework, send it to our liaison or staff liaison, council liaison, and then they could disseminate that to
Lori,
us.
send it to Lori.
Yeah, so everyone send your, Lori, thank you, Lori. Thank you for being this person for us. Everyone send your suggestions of facilitators to Lori, and then Lori can compile them, but then a certain date, and then send them to us for us to do our more research.
Perfect. How much time do people need? It's Thursday, the 16th. It's
Say that,
Thursday, the
L.
16th. How much time do people need? 24 hours? 48 hours? I'm talking hours. I'm not.
Well, when
talking
are we
weeks or
planning
days.
on doing this event?
Because we're gonna have to come up with the names and then we're gonna have to break it down. So just to get the list, we're not gonna vote on these people, but just to send them to Lori so we have a list to start thinking about it so we can
That's all I want.
move to the next step.
Monday?
Monday? Okay, we have a Monday, the 20th.
So we need a list of names.
Just what, everybody, one name.
Yeah, everyone have
Okay.
one name to Lori,
One name
okay.
locally,
And-
Washtenaw
One name.
County or 9798.
and it's lthomas@cityofypsilanti.com.
Okay.
Okay,
So we doing
one name by Friday.
4819,
By
no, by
tomorrow?
Monday, the
Monday.
20th.
Oh, God, that's what I
Monday.
meant. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Monday's a
It's
very
it's
good day.
late. I want to go. I'm just kidding. I'm
So,
here.
are we doing
Happy-
9798 or Washtenaw County?
What is 9?
9/7.
48197, 48198 zip codes. We want
Oh.
a facilitator that locally, or are we doing Washtenaw County?
Locally, right? Ipsy?
So we want Ipsy, so we're 48197, 48198, a facilitator. A name.
Live or work.
I mean, I guess we should like maybe try to do our due diligence in getting that, but if the person is, in Ipsy Township or in
Right.
Superior.
Research.
That's
that.
relevant.
Right, yeah.
But I know we're not gonna research somebody, but it
Okay.
was like, I really hear, and what you're saying is so very true, is that as a church would be, I'm not going there, people are very set that we're tired of people from the outside coming to our community to try to change us and try to create something different. I mean, I hear that a lot. And so pardon me?
Or to try to teach us about our.
Exactly, to try to teach us about our
Tell us what
community.
we
So what,
That's it. Or to tell us what we need.
or to tell us what we need or how to
Or
change.
tell us what we're doing wrong.
So I love that. So thank you.
I just wanted to.
Yes.
So, one thing Katie brought up is since we're looking for facilitators and mediators in the 48197, 48198 area codes, are we looking for people who live or people who work in these areas?
Work, live, play. Is that what it is?
Okay, McKinley.
No, isn't that what they say? That's my middle name, actually. It's Marie. It's Marie. The M is for Marie, everyone.
No, are we looking for people who work, live?
That's a
Somebody
good
that's
idea. That's
invested in the
Somebody
community.
that's okay, how about you're
Yeah.
invested so
If
you
they have
can
experience.
live?
So if you look at that
Invested.
person and say, hey, he's invested in this community,
Gotcha.
he's invested in this area. Two names?
Two names from everybody, one mediator and one facilitator.
Are we
By
gonna,
Monday.
are we gonna, yeah, can we define the difference between those two just for us to disseminate and go, whew? what are we looking for from a mediator and what are we looking for from a facilitator? Facilitator, I'm looking for someone to facilitate a dialogue, keep it going. A mediator is more of like I feel like a facilitator typically does some mediation as well.
Facilitator more like an MC, like
I
you're
look-
moving through the agenda, and a mediator is if it.
Oh,
gets
that's not
heated.
how I've diagnosed, that is not how I consider a facilitator.
But also, I'm guessing that a mediator is going to come up with group expectations or come in with group expectations. So, or there's going to be the creation of some group norm that people are going to agree upon to have a conversation. So there's going to be a group norm, and somebody, to me, a facilitator is going to say, stop one voice if one person's talking, so they're not talking over somebody, to help keeping, as Michelle just did to us, we need to move on. It's like, or was that Katie? It's time to move on. Sorry about that. As Katie said, it's time to move on. So keeping the momentum and the movement so all voices are heard.
I think facilitators usually are supposed to do that. For the most part, in my work, at least with consulting, we usually have a facilitator do all of those things. But if we maybe find a one-stop shop person, that's great. If you find one person that has a skill set and not another, maybe send another name kind of thing.
Right, I've always, right, I've looked at it as, it's hard for one person to do both
Okay.
jobs. It's a big job, but I come from an education background. So to do both jobs at the same time.
What I kind of understand, you said it earlier, that one helps with the logistics and the operation to make sure everything's moving.
Daniel?
And the other one's more like an MC, and they're up there talking, but they have the support to make sure that things keep going forward from whatever title you want to give it, mediator, facilitator. I think for us, just understanding those different parts might be helpful. So is that what you were sharing earlier? In the
So
way
this
that
is
you were
what I
thinking
got.
about it?
A facilitator is a more general term.
Because there's different ways to go about it. And you can do the one person. I mean, we do that all the time with just one person that facilitates the whole thing. And we use the same name for the same thing. But to run it smoothly, it really does help to have somebody that is making sure kind of in the background to make sure things keep moving forward, while the person that's the MC is usually, up there talking. And yeah, so
I'm hoping it's,
how I
Yeah,
thought
go
about
ahead.
it. That's what I'm
Sorry,
hearing
Commissioner.
and what you're sharing.
Two on top.
oh, Commissioner House, I'm sorry.
So a facilitator is a person that's guiding the process through the discussions and the workshops. When mediator focus on conflict management.
Yes.
A mediator involves a conflict that needs resolution, while facilitation requires management of the process where participants have common interests. A facilitator will help the group together as a whole, while the mediator will assist parties in working out for those breakout sessions.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and also just to remember, we are a big part of that too. We'll be able to support them in the areas that they need support in as well, which will help things go, smoother.
I was
We
gonna,
have several different sections we have to get through still too.
okay,
Yeah.
so then I think everyone just had their name to Lori
Remy.
by Monday. And we will most likely need more than one anyway, if we are having breakout groups anyway. So the more the merrier.
Perfect.
Okay.
Moving on to D, thank you for moving us on as we move on. Discussion on the importance of mental health issues, public safety and housing issues in the community. Do people have more of that, or do we feel like we've discussed it?
Yeah, we discussed that.
We discussed it, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I feel
said we
I
did.
feel
Move forward, and
comfortable.
and we created the series.
Yes,
in
Yep.
this
yes.
Discussion.
Can we just decide again where we're gonna meet next, maybe to talk about the next upcoming series? Do we want to have like another meeting at y'all's, not this upcoming one you have, but maybe 2 months, like when, maybe that's what we could
I think we need
discuss.
to
is-
first do, think when we're gonna have this next one, or when we're gonna have the first meeting. Because, right, like, I mean,
Her series, you mean?
right,
No,
or at
she-
least,
She was talking about meeting with them, right?
Yeah, like, because we're gonna have to come back and talk about all of our findings and come up with the finalized plan, right? So,
When the series will start.
Right, that's
Right.
what I was saying.
no, that's what I was just saying, that's what I was just
Yeah,
saying.
no, we
Let's
have-
pick that date, cause then that would help us do that.
And that'll help us do that, and that'll help
Okay.
us with any locations.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
so
would
we,
be-
right, so we.
For sure.
So we have that. So so
don't-
the discussion would
How can-
also
how can we pick a
include,
d- How can we pick a date, though, if we haven't had any conversations with any facilitators, with any venues?
Well, I guess when we go to the venue, what we gonna just say, we don't know when we gonna hold it, we gotta have a date.
Right, that's why I'm saying, like, if we pick a date, then
we could
that
pick
helps
3
guide-
dates,
okay, everybody's calendars out.
3
we pick it- if
tentative.
we- No, trust me, I promise you, I have 11 years of event planning experience. If we pick a date today, then everybody who's trying to ask anybody anything has a D-Day that they can say, this is the date. And then folks, that narrows things down real well.
Yeah.
Of what we can
When is
do.
the
and
last
what
day
we
of
can-
school?
Last day of school is the 7th for Ypsi schools and the consortium schools, they get out at different times.
Okay.
And I'm guessing because we're such a large group, we need at least 2 to 3 months to plan, so.
Okay, so I'm gonna propose May's too soon, June? Too soon?
Yeah,
July? July, I'm gone 1 week in July, the week of the 12th.
I like August.
Okay, we're just going, I'm 12.
Yeah, but don't they?
I
start
don't,
back
yeah,
to
it's a
school in
series.
August?
Yeah, it's a series. Let's start earlier, everyone. We could even start late June, early July. Like, I feel like,
Cause we,
We're a big committee, and when you're saying we wanna meet some more, try August.
I don't think
school
so.
starts back in
I don't think so. I think we can do it.
Let's,
think so.
July, everybody look at July calendar.
Works for me.
Early
What-
July.
Okay, but let's pick a day of the week.
I think most people seem to be, what are generally good times for people? We're thinking people are working. We're thinking people have children.
Doing this
People,
during the week?
no, I mean,
Or-
people work, yeah, people, exactly. I don't know.
We
I
c- we c-
propose that- I'm sorry, Justin.
Yeah,
I
I
apologize.
was gonna say, most people are working through the week, so weekend I would think would be a good place to start. Doesn't have to be, but I think that's when we're gonna have people out and about and have more free
Saturday.
I
time.
think Saturdays are, yeah, so.
Saturday or Friday evening.
Yeah, Friday evening or Saturday.
Yeah.
one of the two.
July Saturdays are 6, 13, 20, 27.
We ain't gonna do it. 6 is so close to the 4th.
Yeah,
Yep.
we
So
could
July,
do,
so the 6 is gone. 13, 20, 27.
we could do Friday, the 12th in the evening time, early evening, like around 6 or 5:30. We could do Saturday, July 13th and like a mid, after early, before kids go to sleep and for people to still do their activities they like to do on Saturdays, but still can participate in community. So maybe like the range from like a 3 o'clock to like,
Thing on Lake Girl.
That's the middle of the
On a
day.
Saturday.
Oh,
you better do
okay.
early night.
10 or 11.
Yeah.
okay. I like, sure. That sounds good too. I'm just trying to throw out some times out
No,
there.
Thank you, thank you.
9 to noon.
Perfect. Get some little donuts and coffee.
Tom's Donuts.
But they ain't
Yeah,
gonna
there's a
show
whole day
up till
left.
10 or 11, you know that.
Oh, they
right?
do work short.
Then they
Yeah,
come
I
all
wonder,
day on
I wonder if
Saturday.
9 might be a little early on a Saturday. Could we like push it a little bit, like 10 to, huh?
And what
10 to
Or the
1?
Friday night. the Friday
I would like
night.
to just to advocate too. I don't know. I think we have another meeting too with for not that it should conflict. Sorry, I was thinking of my brother's keeper that happens the second Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay,
I think that would be the same time.
okay.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
we don't wanna
If
do
we
that.
shoot for the 13th,
I'm
and
not-
if we did the schools, they would be the same.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you for
Thank
bringing
you.
that up.
Yeah. So if
Well-
we did like maybe the 20th or the
Would it be like Friday evening still, early
What
evenings?
about during
I'm
the
down
week
with
in
that.
the evening, like
Yeah,
6 or 7.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Would
think
the
that's a good
Thursday, the
idea.
11th, or the Friday, the 12th around that time work? Like a 6 to,
What about people that gotta go to work?
The
Six.
second shell.
Oh.
We have 3 shifts. We have day shifts, we have afternoon shifts, and we have night shifts. So if we're gonna do a series, I'm gonna propose that. Thank
yes.
you.
Yes.
For each series, we are going to have one in the day shift, one in the afternoon shift, and an
Yes.
evening shift. And I mean, I will openly admit, because I miss most things because I work afternoon shift. You know, and I have, yeah. So if we
So
could
you would have to do a day shift.
I would either do a day shift or night shift, but I get off at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And were we talking about the 12th or the 19th?
We haven't gotten there yet.
Well, we're
We're
talking.
talking about Fridays, weekdays in general, weekdays in general.
So I would just say Fridays is July the 12th, July the 19th, and July the 26th. But on Saturday, it sounds like we took off the 13th, so it's only the 20th and the 27th.
I vote the 12th.
I'm out of town, but that doesn't mean anything.
Well, you should be there.
I mean, no, I mean, you can, if I'm the only one.
19th then?
Yeah, how's Friday the 19th?
I have a class reunion, but carry on.
Oh.
Oh, we want you
I want
there.
you
What about
there.
the,
Don't you want to be there?
I think July is a bad
The
time.
enrollment.
about the 20th?
The middle of the
20
summer.
20th, 26th, 27th.
I think
20th works for me.
20th works for me.
26th works for
Works-
me.
works for
27th
me.
works for me.
All those days work.
27th, 20th works for me too.
So this is the thing, we having more series, so if we start in July or if we start in August, then that's pushing it back to September,
Mm-hmm.
October.
Exactly, but July, August, September makes more sense than August, September, October. We're already out of summer at that point. And a lot of our issues are always very much talked about in the
Wait, we have
summertime.
some first.
I have, so I was going to propose that, and I'm willing to do this, is the 3 dates that we have so far, July 20, 26, 27, that we go on to the community calendars and look and see what other people have,
Yeah.
would have going on. Daniel wonderfully remembered my brother's keeper dates from the top of his head, but just sort of have it and start eliminating, first of all, what's in the community. Because
Maybe we
I
just
get
propose
really
those dates to
frustrated
the
when
venues
people-
too, you
when
know, like
people
these are the 3 we're thinking.
tromp on each other, because that, once again, is going to eliminate people.
And then
And plus, you all have work dates.
And then also, another issue that could be an issue, every last Saturday of every month, there is, the Brotherhood Circle at Parkridge Park, not Parkridge Park, Parkridge Community Center with Anthony Williamson. And that brings out a lot of kids, so they might be there as opposed to.
So right now, we just have the 20th?
Or the 19th, right? No, not the 19th.
Yes, August 24th.
Cause you're doing something on the 19th.
And,
Yeah.
and it
No,
might,
the 13th.
Oh,
it might just go back to like with so many different events happening, summer, we might just have to do it if we all can't be there, just to get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
And
good
our
point.
event's
Jess.
gonna conflict with an event at some point, but we should try to center
But that also
that
makes a
not
good point for
happening.
like middle of the week in the summer,
could do that.
rather than a Saturday or a Friday.
Well, okay, so the Brotherhood thing is from 10 to 12.
Good
so
point.
The last Saturday, so.
I mean, I guess it
yeah.
could be on like a Wednesday, you know.
So do people?
It could
That
be.
was Herman and Kat. do
You might get
wanna
better
we
vendors.
Start with those dates and see if
19th,
those are
20th.
any of the,
Oh.
even a possibility of the 20, 26, 27th as a
Is that what
start.
we said?
20th, 26th, but did we do a time range for any of those times? I missed
Okay,
it.
so Fridays that would be the 20th
6th and the 19th.
and the 19th is out.
Oh, okay, thank you. The 26th, what times?
20th, 26th, what was it, on Friday night, what did we say?
We kind of didn't.
We didn't?
Yeah.
No, we didn't. Cause,
Brittany, Commissioner Dulis said something about the days, if you want to share that. I didn't. You mentioned Wednesdays.
Oh, I said you, cause Katie had mentioned maybe having it during the week, and I said that that might be a good option for vendors also, especially if we're expecting people to volunteer their services. Volunteering on a Saturday in the middle of the summer might be a bigger financial loss.
Or a Friday.
Or a Friday.
That's a, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the new?
We gotta make a decision now.
Okay.
Now,
How about July 17th, everyone? Wednesday, July 17th.
Works for me.
right.
On,
I like it.
but that's okay.
Oh, you're gone?
Be
You're
in
gone
DC
there?
I'm taking kids to DC for HBCU tour.
How about the 24th then,
24th.
or the 10th?
24th,
10th.
10th.
Yeah.
10th.
I love that. The
Sounds
10th,
great.
July 10th. We got it, everyone.
Wednesday, is we gonna do it during the day?
July 10th.
Noon?
Yeah, now we gotta decide a time. July 10th.
What time?
Maybe 5:30 or 6?
At night?
It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
5:36.
after work.
At night?
No.
We're gonna do.
Everybody
we're
gets
gonna
it's
get-
Wednesday, right? Gotta get them after work.
If we're gonna do
No.
5, we have to have food. Cause we're dinner.
Yeah, we definitely have to have food. Why it's starting so late?
After work? I don't know. What do you think? What time do you think we should
If
start?
we doing it during the week, yeah, better take work off. I don't know. But if we doing it during the week, you might as well do it during the day where people can have access to catch transportation if that's what y'all want them to do. You think they're gonna be out there all night catching the AATA?
If it's running.
If they run.
Right.
I'm so glad someone else beside me said that.
What about like a later afternoon, so that way someone can still work? It's not right in the middle of the workday, so
Like a
maybe
4
like
o'clock?
So is
like
this
a,
for you or for them?
no, for
For the
everyone,
community.
for everyone.
That's
We
what I'm
were,
saying, for the community. You gotta look at the population you serving.
right, so I'm
Sorry.
wondering if there's a way we can capture both of those in a time chunk, like a 3:30 to whatever, where it's still later, where it's still in the day, but it still has opportunity for after that time too.
Michelle, do you remember the community group session that we had at the Freight House? What you guys put together at the Freight House, correct? What time was that? That was like around like 6-ish during the week though, right? Yeah, so and that garnered a lot of people to come out. So I think during the week, in the later
6 to 9, 5 to
type
8.
deal, like 5
Mhm.
to 8 should be cool. I understand what you're saying, absolutely. But
We're not gonna be able to.
We thinking 5 to 8.
right.
I mean, we could do 4
6
to
to 8.
You said it worked 5 to 8. That was the time
5
that you
to 8.
did.
Just give it, we
Um,
could just give it that time window. We don't need to use the whole 3 hours,
So
but we
where
just
we-
need to see if the facilitator is available from those times,
So you
right?
think Perry and the senior center and the high school gonna let us do 5 to 8?
We're gonna ask, Commissioner
Or 6 to
Humes is
9.
gonna ask Perry and Wise, and I'm gonna ask Senior Center.
Or 6 to 9.
No, we said
5 to 8.
5 to 8, right? Is that what we said? Okay.
And then we'll make
Ten
sure
from
that the
5 to 8
next
is
one
what
is
we
at
discussed.
a completely different time
Right.
so that we would capture
I
Tag it on.
Do 6 a.m.
I like
6 a.m.
I like to
to
make
6
every
p.m. all day.
Okay, okay.
I like to make everybody aware that we got 8 minutes to 9.
I
so
know,
we
that's
might-
what I'm
me and
saying.
AT extend.
That's-
Need a vote.
Thank you. Thank you,
we
sir.
add an
Thank you.
extension If we want to.
So it's 5
we-
to 8.
So this is, you all are asking for July 10th from 5 to 8 PM. So we only have one date.
Yeah, that's all we
Make
came
it or
up with.
break it.
Just go with that.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
But
that's our
for
goal.
now.
Before that,
We're gonna meet before that.
we have to meet before
We're,
that. so
we're
we
gonna
know
meet before that.
something.
Okay. So, perfect. So moving on, city council liaison reports.
So before we go there, real quick, do we want to, HRC, do we want to see if we can invite ourselves to the YPAC meeting in June?
Yeah, I was gonna actually suggest that, yeah.
Do we want to invite?
But y'all's is the 4th Thursday, right? 4th Thursday? I'm just, that would be the 27th then? That puts how many weeks before the,
And that's the one
That puts
that I
6
already
weeks
had
before
moved
the
anyhow
10th.
because
Right.
it was my birthday, so
Perfect.
I didn't want to.
What-
Want to have it the time that it was.
would YPAC be able to meet? Oh,
wait.
okay, it's June
Well,
20th? not the 27th.
Where's your meeting?
Here.
Okay, so that puts us then 1, 2, 3, 3-ish, no, like 2 weeks and 6 days ahead of the date, which
June 20th.
should be okay, right?
Or are you available that night?
Institute. That's a dangerous one. Yeah, John will be here.
There is a staff person available.
Yes, no, I know that I've already gotten,
You said June 20th is the next.
Yeah, what time?
The staff person's birthday.
7 PM, if I'm not mistaken.
That's why I didn't schedule our meeting that night.
All right, so we're all in agreement that we will meet at YPAC meeting on June 20th at 7 to discuss the finalization of our prospective, hopefully July 10th community forum series.
so may I request that as, this is gonna be fun part, Gail, that Herman and Kat, as you learn about places, that you send that that info.
Send everything to Lori,
Wanted to send it to Lori and then Lori can, so. that
disseminate
day-
it.
Disseminate, and if that date doesn't work, then we can use Lori to come up with a second date.
I-
for the possibility.
Yes, and maybe we could have our contacts in. I will have at least my reach out before y'all's YPAC meeting, so hopefully to be able to get that out of the way, but I like that idea a lot. We'll use Lori, if that's okay, as our point person for this. We don't have any.
And HRC, if you want to send me any of your minutes or any of your notes or any of your conversation, feel free to just keep it amongst us and me.
Okay.
Okay.
To keep it separate from YPAC.
So Commissioner Humes and I will try for within the week for those contacts. And then if they don't have any other date available, we will ask them what dates they have available as well and send those to Lori.
Excellent.
Okay.
Let's move this party on.
Okay, liaison reports.
So, I just wanna let the HRC know that I did bring up in our last council meeting about the money. Because in the charter, it did state that HRC shall be provided money if necessary. That means that we are talking about this event in case money is necessary. I did bring it up, so I don't know if you all wanna discuss like an amount to ask for. So that's something to think about. And I also wanted to let you guys know that the complaint process and the discrimination ordinance, those will be on our agenda at the next.
Okay.
Right, and as far as
Thank you.
as far as the YPAC liaison report, officers Johnny Benitez and Roderick Edwards finished their field training, so they'll be on the road solo and not accompanied by another officer. So congratulations to them. Also in our last meeting, there was a discussion for the RFP for the unarmed response, and it was I feel like it was a good discussion. Getting more information about that. So as that develops, I will let you all know about that. Other than that, oh, and actually, I just got word that the city will be closed June the 19th for Juneteenth.
Awesome.
Yeah, it'll be closed.
In recognition.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be barricaded into the city. You got to get all your no.
And to we all have to celebrate Juneteenth.
Yeah, I'm saying
Fine
everybody get your
with
food now, but no. The city hall will be closed June 19th for Juneteenth. So just keep that in mind.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I have a question. When can we discuss some of these YPAC issues when we meet at your oh, okay.
You have to send them to me and I'll put them on the agenda.
Okay, I don't know.
I will get you that.
That's it for my
That's it.
reports.
So the next thing that we have, commissioner reports, and what we've defined, just so HRC knows what we did for commissioner reports is, what have you heard from people in your community? What have you had? And this is what we use to create our agenda.
We had it on the last one. We were excited. We were able to add that aspect on the
Okay,
last one.
so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go
Can I sh-
down
I was gonna share an update that kind of relates to what Councilmember King just said about the ordinances. We passed 3 ordinance changes at our last meeting, and it was really excited, and I quickly created them, a resolution and ordinance to send for council, and I will send that also to my fellow commissioners so that you're able to read what we wrote and what we put together for council to approve. And the third one, the fair chance access to housing, that one's a little bit more tricky because it's not necessarily removing wordage, it's adding to. So I'm still working the kinks out of how to frame that one, but I just wanted to share that our hard work paid off and it will be at the next meeting.
Thank you, City Council, too.
Yes.
I would like to ask if we can extend this meeting by 10 minutes. By 10 minutes, I know we can't vote on this. So are people comfortable with going 10 more minutes? So we can go through the liaison reports and then,
All right.
perfect.
I motion to make this meeting go 10 more minutes.
Second.
Thank you.
Post vote. Katie, you have to run this.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry.
Kathy, do you have?
Katie has reached the end of her day.
That's what I'm reading.
That will be the first thing we create.
Yes.
Can't we?
Yeah, you can still report.
Never mind. Boy, I've never been, I've just been silenced. Okay. I feel horrible.
We over here side talking, so we missed all of that.
Yeah, we did.
I asked,
All that we've done is confuse you anyway. so-
Okay.
I asked for
They just-
commission
they just
reports and I
figure it
got
out.
this, well, we can't say anything, this isn't our meeting,
Okay,
so
gotcha.
I made the joke that I was just silenced. Brittany.
I mean, you certainly can. I mean, we would love to hear.
Brittany, do you have any commissioners' reports?
No, I do not.
We might even not use our 10 minutes. Right.
Nah, no, I don't.
Do you have anything?
Yes, I have a follow-up. Katie, did you ever follow up about the social equity funds from the recreational marijuana licenses and where that money goes towards?
I think that there is an unanswered email.
Okay,
I think that
it's just in the minutes and I was like, oh, I would love to know what the answer to that was, because I remember asking, but yes, if that could be shared out, that would be awesome. Just curious where that goes towards the social equity fund that's part of the recreational marijuana license applications. But
Be public.
it, yeah, you would think it's very hard to find a lot of these things that are public. But yes, it should be. But that was my one thing. And then also I just want to know, I thought this was Lomo or Nomo May. Is it Nomo? Nomo May? Lomo May. Does that mean that like we're still ticketing people because people are still getting tickets?
If it's over 10 inches,
If it's over 12 inches, you get cited. Okay. So if you are, okay. So maybe that is an interesting area that we could talk about at our future HRC meeting for people who are of lower income and don't have access to having people mow their yards all the regular basis. If there's a partnership we could create with the city to be able to have people have access to getting their yard taken care of so they're not cited. That doesn't apply to me, but I do have a citation for my yard. And I will admit that. And it shows up on my my permanent record on the city website.
Serious?
It does. You can look up my house and see that I have a citation for grass.
Dispute that?
I have no earthly idea and I didn't try, but you know, the point is that I just think it's important that we have at least partnerships to not punish people who can't afford or are unable to keep up with their lawn on a regular basis. So that's a future conversation. that I hope
Yeah,
to
and we
bring.
need to have that conversation because Ipsy Housing let theirs grow.
We'll have it in the
And they-
future.
And they didn't get cited. Did they?
No.
I wanna know.
they didn't.
Yeah, okay.
We should Google it.
High up there. They just now cut it.
Yeah, they did.
Huh?
Okay, so I will write that to my note to myself to bring at a future
It was
meeting.
growing too this spring.
It was all that rain and.
Growing.
Do you have any commissioners?
No, she stole mine. I wanted to know where them weed money going.
Okay.
I did, because they need to,
I'll find out, guys.
they need to,
Find out about the weed.
we need to approach them about investing in our community.
Okay, perfect.
I know, yeah, because there was a part of the social equity fund that went towards a reentry housing fund that was overseen by Washtenaw Housing Alliance, but I'm unsure what exactly that has funded. Only because I've worked in reentry where a lot of people still don't have housing. So just curious where that has gone, but I look forward to your response, Katie.
Council members, did we get a report on this at a meeting recently? I feel like we did, and I just don't know the answers.
Yeah.
I'll-
And so
seems like that should be like.
telling council member Susan, I wanna have the exact answer of where it's going before just saying, hey, it went here.
Mhm.
And I will have that, we'll have that information.
Yeah, because I mean, I can tell you vaguely, but I don't have it like.
So is it broke down so you can see exactly where it's going?
I mean, yes, we can give you a report, but it like right now, if we reported it, it would be bleh.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Very much.
Very technical 9
Daniel.
5 p.m. response.
Commissioner report is just basically sharing I know that you're new and you're being dropped in the middle of this pond, but we're here swimming with you. It's just observations that you have seen that you, as you just heard, 2 agenda items just emerged, but something that you want to put on the radar for HRC.
Yes, absolutely. So I met with the epidemiologist, agent that was worked with the sheriff's office. They were taught, and she brought up these values of creating a community, of dealing with the cycles of trauma through developing cycles of safety. And so she communicated these 3 core values that I thought were really profound and personally I resonated with. One was to be at least connected to one healthy person. The other one was to have a good self-image. And the third was to be part of something greater than yourself. And being able to help to facilitate those types of interactions within our community in regards to mental health and getting the support of of our city, I think would be significant. She also shared about a dream that was in her heart to get those messages out there and to help people to connect, to help, and she talked about flyers and billboards, but I just thought that in this area of dealing with mental health and what the research is showing in regards to addressing trauma, I think putting on events and connecting and listening to the people, but there's a lot of also data that's there that we know personally and experientially that there are things that really do help. And when we can create forums where people can have meaningful connections, healthy connections to people that care for them and that are willing to support them, I want to help to move that forward, and where people can are given a message that they're important, that they matter, that their life matters, that they have value regardless of any stigma or label that's out there, I think is also significant. And then the last one, again, to inspire, encourage, promote community service, engagement, involvement, just for individuals to be part of something greater. And that's unique for each individual, but to develop opportunities for people to give back and to get more involved is part of the healing as well. And so that's just something that I would like to put out there, that I've been working together with a community violence intervention team and a number of different organizations to help to facilitate more of those types of interactions within our community. And I would just like to put that out there and solicit support to ways we can engage our community in these ways and help to facilitate those core values and those interactions taking place within our community.
Are you able to get her information?
So I have all of her information.
Okay.
And I'm actively putting together a proposal of ways to promote those three core things.
So who is this? Who was this?
Adrienne Wells, I believe it's her last name, and she was hired by the sheriff's office to research about 100 and I think it was 190,000 cases for the last 20 years, and they looked at crime in the same way that you would look at an outbreak of sickness.
Can I
Yeah.
hate to do this,
I think we're going up.
but I'm gonna do it. We have a minute that we've agreed upon and I don't want to extend it again. So can I rudely interrupt you all and ask you all to continue this conversation when we
I was just
And-
gonna say Adrian Wells, that's my name. You can have, I can send that. 'Cause this is exactly what we was just talking about.
Right,
So
right.
this is the person that needs to facilitate.
We took the name.
Oh, okay.
Like, I
Thank you very much. So do we have any public comment? People sitting out in the audience, do we have any public comment information? No one, and then we have, is there anybody?
Wait,
on-
right there.
I know. No.
You matter.
Even,
That's right.
Keep it brief because you only have 30 seconds.
Yes.
All great conversations about facilitators, things like that. One thing to be clear on is a contingency plan, because other public meetings around these topics have been very contentious and have gotten out of hand. And so the facilitator and as well as this group should have a plan for people who do not conform to the courtesy rules that we would all expect in a public forum. So
Thank you,
A professional facilitator, mediator.
Adrian.
awesome, excellent. No, is there anybody online?
Is there anybody online who'd like to speak? Please raise your hand now.
Keep looking.
I don't see any hands raised.
Sweet. So, thank you. So the next meeting for YPAC is when?
Yeah.
June 20th?
Right?
June 20th at 7 is what I had written down.
The next meeting for YPAC is June 20th at
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Just
Or you
one.
guys- you guys are.
Oh, no, y'all are meeting next week, the one that
No,
we
do
attend.
not Have quorum, so we're not meeting next week.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm like, but
I've
you guys aren't
already-
meeting next week?
Right, no, I've already been notified that we don't
Oh,
have
got it.
quorum. Even
So
though we
the ne-
changed our quorum number, we don't have quorum.
got it.
So we don't have it, so we're not meeting.
Okay, so the next
So
meeting
this
is with
been our
us.
meeting. So the next meeting is with you, so we will have
Okay.
business. Thank you. So
We have to.
We need a motion to adjourn.
you all have to make your motion to adjourn.
And motion to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Hey, can I get a picture with y'all? I just want to get a picture with
Tanya,
everybody.
take a
Is
picture.
that all right?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Wait, Tanya, can you get,
Adjourn at 9:12.
Tanya, can you get up and like come to
Where do
closer?
I, get in contact with Adrian?
I can give you her
Information?
Wait,
yep.
you're
I
the
can-
photographer.
I need to talk to her.
So look, I can find you.
So we should go to Katie.